KiWiKaKi. So let's go ahead and get things started. Take it away.
Let's do it. We have Evil Genius's DeMusliM spawning as our Teal Terran at the bottom corner of Shattered Temple. Across the way, over at the 12 o'clock, we have his opponent, the yellow Protoss, and that is going to be ReIGN's KiWiKaKi. KiWiKaKi coming off a big victory on our last map using that beautiful, beautiful Phoenix build on Crevasse, able to just pick off small groups of Hydralisks and pick off small groups of Roaches when he needed to, and just took that small incremental advantage over and over, and just kind of ran away with that one.
Yeah, ran away with it is, certainly, I mean, he only had to make, 2 actual pushes during the game, and one of them was just a feint halfway through the middle to draw out some units, and, just absolutely destroyed. So, let's see what DeMusliM has in store. He is spawning down here at 6 o'clock. Now, for those of you who are wondering why Shattered Temple is up again, I explained this towards the beginning of the cast, but both teams were under the impression, not really under the impression, they just thought it was a set map pool or a map rotation, so they were just following them in order. Really, that was just our map pool, and it was a loser picks format. So, since they were just going on a set rotation, both teams agreed that DeMusliM was fine to go ahead and pick Shattered Temple once again, because neither team had been picking up to this point. So that's why you're seeing it a second time. Have no worries, we haven't used up our entire map pool.
No, we have not. And for those of you who don't know, the series is currently 4-3 in ReIGN's favor, so Evil Geniuses has their back against the wall right here. DeMusliM needs to make it happen, and this is his opportunity right here.
Yeah, you're certainly right. Building that barracks in right now, and he has gone ahead and bypassed any sort of gas, saving up for what looks like to be a very, very fast expansion. On the other hand, KiWiKaKi has put down his gas on pretty normal timings. They're adding a pylon up at the top right, which is kind of interesting. Positioning right away, not building that in for SimCity, not putting that towards the middle of his base to block any Hellions or anything from coming through to continue building construction. So a little bit odd there, and indeed DeMusliM putting up his orbital commands. We will see an expansion out of him pretty soon.
Yep, it looks like that is what DeMusliM is going to go ahead and do. He doesn't have any gas. He is getting his second supply depot very early on. Strangely enough, not using either supply depot to help wall at the top of the ramp, and that's not something you see every day, but I think he's banking on the fact that, he's going to get those bunkers up at the natural, and hopefully he's never going to have to use the wall. It is nice to have as a backup, though, especially if a Protoss player goes for a run-by, and that is something you will see from time to time. If they know that you do not have a wall, they can run those initial stalkers by, head up the ramp, and potentially do a lot of harassment damage. And wow, we do have an engineering bay.
It's been a while since I have seen this. The nice engineering bay, of course, it builds super fast. Look at how fast the hit points are going up. Now, the Zealot is going to be able, to take care of that SCV, but the engineering bay will prevent any sort of expansion coming up, but I don't think that KiWiKaKi was planning for that early of an expansion.
I don't think he was either. And, it's not a total loss for DeMusliM. He's able to get a little bit of scouting information there and, potentially block the expansion for a little bit. We didn't see it work out right there, but, he had the right idea.
Yeah.
He had the right idea. He had to have assumed that, an expansion was coming relatively soon here. And getting that bunker up with perfect timing, and he's also getting that first gas, so he's not going with that gasless 4-rack style where people build up a ton of Marines early on and then they eventually go with a push. He's actually getting that first gas a little bit earlier on here so he can start to get those upgrades on the tech lab, and he does have a tech lab coming right now, and I kind of like this.
Yeah, and he's going up to those 4 racks, so he may be able to put on a push pretty soon, but it all depends on what KiWiKaKi is going to bring out. He is throwing down his second gateway, and did end up putting down that expansion pretty soon after that engineering bay did disappear. And look at this. We actually have a delayed Reaper coming out, and looks like KiWiKaKi was able to run by down to the bottom right, pulls the SCVs off for quite a while, then smartly retreats. So he did get the run by there for a second, but DeMusliM is going to be able to hold with no losses.
Yeah, DeMusliM will indeed hold that, and he's going to drop a second bunker here just to be extra safe that nothing like that happens in the future. And, he might add a building on the right to wall that off even more. You never know. And he continues to macro up here. He's doing a great job thus far. DeMusliM continues to mule, and he stayed relatively even on supplies here. We are at 37-37, and DeMusliM just passed KiWiKaKi for the first time, going up to 38 here. KiWiKaKi adding some additional gateways and a forge now.
Forge is coming up, and this is pretty cool. I do know KiWiKaKi lately has been favoring that charge slot Archon, and he gets out a minimal number of sentries for Guardian Shield. He rushes for +3 armor, and then when you think about that, oh no, my Expo is too far. As there is Reaper actually jumping in, doing damage, picks off a couple of these units. There we go. A couple of the sentries are going to be sent in. Reaper could do some damage. Oh, looks like it does manage to jump its way onto the high ground. The Reaper will continue to try and get another kill. Probes are going to make their way over, and it dies.
I was just about to say, I hope DeMusliM doesn't turn around and get greedy and try and kill another probe. And then
he does.
He does, but I really like the delayed Reaper there out of DeMusliM. I mean, he got a full scout right there. He got the expansion timing. He was able to kill 3 probes. I mean,
sure.
Worth its weight in gold. And it's very interesting that he made that decision, especially when your gas is so precious and you're only working off of one refinery. Because he was only off of one refinery there. It's going to delay your combat shield. It's going to delay stim. It's going to delay your +1. But it was well worth it. I really like that move out of him, actually. Very important scouting intel as well.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm curious to see how he reacts to what he's seen. Following up on what I was saying before, KiWiKaKi has been going for, he rushes for +3 armor, and then he goes with Guardian Shield and Charge Lot Archon, and he has an immensely powerful force that's immune to a lot of damage. He's able to get that +2 armor out right about the time when a Terran player sitting at about 1-1, +2 armor against only 1 weapons upgrade with Guardian Shields. It's quite a sight to behold. Those charge lots are very, very powerful.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Charge lots with Guardian Shield and plus armor upgrades are quite amazing. I'm not even going to get into the whole the details of it, but armor plus charge lots plus Guardian Shields equals
Marines basically don't do anything.
Very good. And they're just a beautiful buffer between the Colossus as well. They're just so effective, and it looks like DeMusliM might be setting up for a +1 combat shield stim timing push here. We do have stim and +1. Going to finish relatively shortly here.
Yeah, but that's going to come right up against this +2 armor, and if he attacks before the infantry armor comes up, charge lots are going to be able to rip through his Bioforce.
Yeah, I agree with that. We do have a second NG Bay and an armory coming here from DeMusliM, so he's also going with a very heavy upgrade style, but the important thing to note here is that KiWiKaKi is going with those armor upgrades, and he's going to continue to chrono boost those out, and that's going to make it so difficult for DeMusliM to accomplish anything.
Oh, good lord. He's adding a Dark Shrine, and look at this. He is going to be on 8 gate with DT tech and
Archon possibility.
Oh,
don't forget that.
Yeah, exactly. It takes a little longer for the Dark Shrine to come up as opposed to the Templar Archives. I think it's twice as long, 50 to 100 seconds.
But I'm just saying, he can still go with the composition you were saying that he's really been favoring.
Exactly.
And he has the potential for harass.
Yeah, you're 100% correct. And if he's able to sneak those DTs in there, well, as Terran players, we obviously know how bad that can be to have your army just split apart by a couple of DTs ravaging your expansions.
Yep, he does have a turret up right now, though, so he will be okay to any kind of DT harass, but he needs to be worried about this timing push. It looks like KiWiKaKi isn't waiting for a single beat.
+2. Here he comes. Guardian Shield goes down. He makes his way in.
He just recycled the bunkers.
The bunkers. That's so bad. And here he comes with the rest of his SCVs trying to do whatever damage he can, but the SCVs are falling like flies. And look at that. Guardian Shield plus +2 armor. He ripped through that SCV wall, and he's going to take out most of the Marines as well.
Yeah, Marines do absolutely nothing to this type of play. And it makes me think that Terran players are going to start having to use Blue Flame Aliens and incorporate that into their builds against Protoss. You can't just go with the pure bio style anymore. Builds like this are going to put a stop to that at every turn. And here we have KiWiKaKi just ransacking the natural. The orbital's been forced to a lift here. We have DTs camping the production facilities. And DeMusliM is in a lot of trouble here.
A lot of trouble, and I think we're going to see an imminent GG. So that Mass Marine style not going to work out against this. God, those Zealots are so powerful. And there it is, GG.